Termites. Oh my God, it's episode 57. Isn't that crazy? I know. It's really crazy. So many awesome things today. The Stevie and Lindsey fighting is really gone to a level of total excitement. And you can't come for these queens. You can't do it. I'm not going to get into that just yet, but boy, is it a good one. And they all responded, and then agents got involved. This lady who wrote this article for the LA Times, she probably thought, fuck yeah, I hit pay dirt. I've been waiting. Everybody's been waiting for 50 years for somebody to say something. Yep. And boom, she got everybody talking. Anyway, what are we drinking? This, my termite friends, is called Holy Donut. Nice. This is an imperial stout with donuts and toasted coconut, given to me by whom? Comedian and sometimes co-worker Kelly MacFarland, because Kelly is from Maine originally, yep. And this is from Maine. Look at Maine turning out all kinds of things lately. That's right. So I have a little in here as my first. I'm not a big coconut person, but sometimes
but you're like donuts?
I'm hoping the donut overrides the coconut. It's good. It's like a dessert. Nice. Yeah. Nice. You wouldn't drink like 6 of those in a boat. No. You'd vomit. But for that, and so that's what we're drinking.
It's a fall beer.
And then I have a little regular beer back for that. Shout out to Little Big Town. They sent me a day drinking hat.
Nice.
Yeah, it's adorable. I'm going to go get some more of their stuff. I actually saw them live at the Grand Ole Opry in a benefit deal. They're always good. They're like the country ABBA.
Yeah, they are.
Nobody employs 2 women anymore in a band.
No, they're great.
Fleetwood Mac did it. Look how well it worked out. Well, except for the infighting. Still going. Kind of going. What are we tasting? Well, first let me see what some termites sent. This one made me laugh out loud. So remember this guy, Adam, sent me the South Carolina rocks glass?
Yep.
And I think it's my favorite flag of any state, favorite license plate. I just love the palm tree and the moon. Cool. It's awesome. So he had sent one, and I received 3 more in the mail. Great. Yeah, and he said, I told my mother that I only gave you 1 glass. Not only was she pissed, she said I was raised better. And she wants you to read this aloud on the podcast, that I should know better. Much love, Adam Hughes. Okay, Mama Hughes, I just publicly shamed Adam. I hope everyone feels good. Now I do, because now I have 4. Exactly. I just need to find 3 more people to come over here to drink something out of a rocks glass. This was sent to. This is from Summer. I have a neighbor named Summer. This is a Carolina barbecue sauce available at Trader Joe's, because that's my favorite, even though I'm not supposed to say that because I'm from St. Louis and we're kind of famous for barbecue, so it's Kansas City. I like the Carolina better. And I guess Trader Joe's sells Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, which is pretty great. I haven't tasted it yet, but I am going to taste it.
Is it the vinegar kind?
Yeah, it's the vinegar-based one. Cool. But she said, she's from Texas. She agrees that vinegar-based is the best. You combine this with a slow cooker and pork, makes for a passable knockoff of Carolina barbecue. So that's all you're looking for if you're out here in the hinterland. Mediocre. You can't get the real stuff. And she sent me this shirt that says "Calm down, Karen," because I really wanted one. And I'm sure I could have taken my lazy ass on the internet and found it, but instead, Summer the Termite got it. I will be a sleep shirt or a boat shirt. It's a little big for running around, although I would look super thin.
There you go.
So thank you that on termites. Now, what are we eating today? What are we going to try? Doing the work of the Lord, I have secured some pumpkin spice Cheerios. I love Cheerios and I love Honey Nut Cheerios, but I am not a pumpkin spice person, and I have to put up with this shit all through October. People shoving pumpkin in every single thing possible. But I don't know. I thought I'd try it for you guys. If you like pumpkin, I'm going to do this as a taste test for. Oh my God. All right. If pumpkin spice is your thing, these are very, very pumpkin spicy. Wow. Cereal is like crack, too. I went to go buy it for my brother's kids. It's like $7 a box, and they eat a box a day. Yeah, it's a racket. Yeah, there it is. All right, gluten-free for my sister. There you go. Pumpkin spice. I don't even like pumpkin pie. I only eat the crust and the whipped cream. I work around the pumpkin. I would make my mom on holidays make her make me a chocolate pie, me and my dad, because I pumpkin pie. The idea of it looks good, and then you take a bite, and I'm just like, no, not for me. Wow. I've also secured this Taco Bell avocado ranch. Nice, Tiffany Munch. Speaking of which, you guys need to go buy Do you have any ranch T-shirts? And I'm going to hold you hostage. You're not getting another Pubcast shirt till I sell forth. Do you have any ranch tour shirts? The greatest thing is Little Ron White, my comedian buddy. He was at my house, and I gave him one, and I sent him off at the airport in it. And he has no luggage because he's flying somewhere else where clothes are at. I don't know. I go, you look like a hobo. You have no luggage. He has a man purse and a dog and mustard. But I made him put the shirt on, and I don't even think he looked at the back. And I thought, he's a full-grown man walking through an airport with a shirt that says, do you have any ranch?
And your face
on the back, and my face in giant things. That's good advertisement. Yep. Make these guys that are way richer than me get out there and do some shit. Oh, my God. The avocado ranch from the Taco Bell avocado. Awesome.
Great.
Nailed it.
What do you put it on?
God, I don't know what you put it on. Everything? That's what the children would tell you. The children. Creamy avocado ranch. I don't know what it's for. Right now, it's really good on this cracker. Nice. Crackers, dipping sauce. It's, in the Midwest, you could just show up with that and they feel like you did your part.
It's fancy.
Yeah, you don't even have to put it in nothing. Just set this bottle right there at the party. There you go.
That's great.
Don't tell me I didn't bring food. This looks disgusting. But again, I'm spending, this is $3.99. Cheetos Crunch Pop Mix. I don't think so. This is going to be loud. Sorry. Close your ears. There we go. Okay. It's popcorn. Yeah, but
don't deviate.
sometimes, just stay on the main highway. Cheetos are great. Just regular Cheetos. You don't need... I don't know. I think it would cost a lot of money to keep inventing things. And half of them probably don't work out. I just stick with what you do. I don't know. They must make money or they wouldn't keep doing it. All right, my day drinking hat. Now, this is so great. Because if you follow this podcast, we talked about that show, This Is a Robbery, the Isabella Gardner Museum in Boston. Mm-hmm. And I went, and I did Boston. I did two shows at the Wilbur Theater, which is so great. And then, are there any Boston Termites out there listening? They want to know if I want to move to a bigger theater. But I haven't been to that one. And I kind of like...
The one in Medford.
In Medford, wherever that is. It's 15 minutes outside of town. I kind of like the vibe of the Wilbur, though. You vote, Termites. Where should I work? I would work... I think it's way bigger. I think the Wilbur's like, I have Cheeto shit all over me.
Happy day.
It's sticky. And
You look like a 5-year-old.
I know. Kathleen, have you been eating Cheetos? No, my face is always this orange. I don't know. Would you guys, is the other theater, has anybody been? Could a termite write in on the YouTube page and tell me? Or should I think the Wilbur seats like 1,200 and I do 2 shows there. And then that other one will probably be like the same size as if I did 2, but I'd do 1. But I like the vibe of the Wilbur because it kind of feels clubby. Anyway.
It's the Chevalier.
Chevalier?
Mm-hmm. The Chevalier Theater.
The Chevalier Theater. All right. Termites, you tell me what to do. Tell me where to go. Fire! Fire! So I got to go to the Isabella Gardner Museum with Kelly and her husband, Eric. And wow, is it great. Now, you don't get to see the room where the guard got taped up, which was a little, I know I wanted to ask, but I didn't want to seem like a hillbilly. Y'all, can I see that room where the man got all taped, or the basement where they got thrown in and taped up? But it's so fascinating because all the frames are still there of what was stolen. The 2 Rembrandts are enormous. The little one, the tiniest one that was in that lady's bra at the party in the show, This Is a Robbery. It's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. It's a crazy story of this museum that got robbed. And it's still open, and it is probably one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. But then, like, you go around this thing, and
Courtyard looks gorgeous.
the courtyard is gorgeous, and the rooms are great. I mean, and they're all different. It's like a giant house. But I think in modern day terms, we would just call this a rich hoarder lady. It's just all her shit. And then there's all these letters from people, but they're like in cases, like your grandma would put stuff. And I don't know. Most of the famous artwork has been stolen. So there's still tons of artwork in there, but it's not really fame. I don't know. Not to an average hack. I don't know these painters. I've never heard of these people. But it was still great and worth the price of admission, whatever it was. I don't even remember. You can get tickets online. And Boston was great as always. I had clam chowder at the Black Rose. I had it at the Chart House and somewhere else. Perfect every time. Legal seafood. Yep. They nail it. Sometimes I go to San Francisco and you go around the wharf and you go on your chowder tasting run. Sometimes it get a little too fishy out there. But Boston, white, chunky clam chowder. It was so much fun in the casino in Foxwoods too. And so that's where I was. And nobody was duct taped to any seats on my flights. Everybody acted relatively normal, I would say. Yeah. So thanks, everybody. That's where I've been. Now let's get this started. We have breaking Queen news. Yeah. Well, two things. Poor Tanya had to cancel the rest of her tour. Her hip hurts still. She also said something about COVID. She doesn't have, not that she has it, but something about, she just thinks it's safer to, and that might not be a bad idea when you have a bad hip. She also, Tanya, recorded a song with RuPaul.
That's cool.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Little bit like Lil Nas's Take My Horse to the Old Town Road. Just saying, little bit tiny similar, but I'll let that go, that it sounds almost exactly like it. It's fun. It's a fun little video you can put in the show notes. But here's the craziest shit. First of all, can we talk about Fleetwood Mac being... Google how old is Christine McVie. I think she's 78. Now, I'm not saying in your 70s, you're still not going to get pissed at people and this and that. But
78.
She's 78. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah. She's a cancer.
She's a cancer. Good for her. Yeah. As Rocky Laporte would say, go for you, Christy. Go for you. Stevie and Lindsey have been fighting since they were 16. I mean, at some point, isn't there some sort of just reconciliation? You don't even have to like the person anymore, but to say, this is how we're going to roll from here on out. Right. No, it never, ever stops. And I told you there's a comedian in Denver, Kevin Fitzgerald, and he used to bounce for bands when he was going to college and veterinarian school, because now he's a veterinarian too. He's probably the smartest comedian I know, I'd say, on paper. Like, he's written books about poisons of reptile poison. Yeah, it's really complicated. But he said bouncing for like, he loved bouncing for the Rolling Stones. He named like 10 bands that he loved. He goes, I'm sorry, baby, I know you love your Stevie, but the 5 of them are just a shit show. Nobody wanted to go because they were all fighting. He said it was a miserable vibe. There was never any fun to be had. And Kevin's an upbeat guy. Like, to drag Kevin down, you have to be super duper hard to handle or miserable. And for those of you who don't know or don't care, you can skip this part, but this is a Fleetwood Mac. I saw them, so they kicked Lindsey out, okay? And,
Well-deserved.
Well, Stevie's going to tell you her side too. But the last time I saw Fleetwood Mac, I saw him in Nashville at the Bridgestone Arena. It was not Lindsey. It was the guy from Crowded House and the guy from the Heartbreakers, Mike Campbell. And I think Lindsey's a great guitar player. All acknowledgement of that. Probably top 5 I've ever seen in my life. However, the other 2 guys, just fine. No problem. Nope. You may need to. That's a compliment to Lindsey. You need to, but wait till, this is narcissism. Oh my God. I know. I gotta find out who, Amy Kaufman was the Los Angeles Times lady who got the story. Yeah. Wow. Lindsey Buckingham, singer-guitarist's 7th solo venture, was finished nearly 4 years ago. Upon completing the 10-songs collection, he asked his bandmates in Fleetwood Mac if they'd be willing to slightly delay an upcoming tour so he could promote his new music. He made a similar request back in 2006 and was granted 2 years to tour behind back-to-back solo efforts. For his new album, he only wanted 3 months. He keeps stressing that part. But this isn't the real reason there ain't no Lindsey anymore. He wants to like throw that one out there first.
Right.
But 2008 Fleetwood Mac's tour, 2018 tour dates had already been sketched out. And if that's true, then no, Lindsey, no, because you have to even to book the theaters I'm in, it's months and months and months out, and they have to connect, especially with music, because they're dragging every shit show semi with stuff in it. Right. You can't just go, oh yeah, it's fine, we'll just start later. Still, Buckingham says the majority of the group, drummer Mick Fleetwood, Christine McVie, and bassist John McVie, seem flexible. Stevie Nicks, the band's primary lead singer superstar, however, would not budge. The tension between Buckingham and Nicks, who were infamously volatile couple during the 1970s peak. 70s, I mean, come on. And this is where it went off. In January 2018, when the group walked on stage to receive their Music Cares Person of the Year award, that's why I think it's extra funny, because you're at it's a benefit, Music Cares. You're supposed to be nice, right? Kind. Music Person of the Year award, Rhiannon, a song written by Nicks, was playing, and Buckingham complained about that. How juvenile are you?
How come you're playing Stevie's song? Must play my song.
What do you even care at this point? Aren't you tired of all your songs? There comes... Then Nicks, then Stevie, who accepted the prize on behalf of the band, felt that Buckingham was mocking her for her lengthy speech, which he was. You can see it on the video. And I think it might be easy to mock Stevie because she talks endlessly. But here's the deal. She's the boss.
Right.
You can't.
She's the witch.
She's without Stevie, the Fleetwood Mac thing ain't selling out arenas. It might sell out other places, but not an arena. Nope. Without Lindsey, it's sold out. So guess what, Lindsey? Pipe it down if you want to keep your job.
Right.
Ironically, Buckingham says nothing went down that night that was as contentious as the stuff we'd been through for 43 years. But within a week, he was fired from Fleetwood Mac. Here's the thing, Lindsey. You've been being a pain in the ass for 43 years, and sometimes there's a straw that breaks the camel's back. And I think Stevie had it. And I'm not necessarily saying I wouldn't be tired of Stevie talking sometimes. Sometimes at the concerts, I'm like, okay, she's kind of out there, Yeah. She's kind of on a different planet.
Swirling all the time.
Yeah. Then it was a seismic shift in Buckingham's life, one he is still struggling to accept today at age 71. As it would turn out, it was only the first in a series of upheavals. Following his departure, Buckingham sued Fleetwood Mac for lost wages, including the $12 to $14 million he claimed he would have made on that tour in just 2 months. After the lawsuit was settled, he planned to turn his attention back to music. A couple months later, though, he suffered a heart attack, had to undergo a triple bypass. During the process, the insertion of a breathing tube damaged his vocal cords, leaving him question whether he'd be sing again. And he can sing now. That's all fine. He spent much of the COVID pandemic focusing on recovery. Then in June, his wife of 21 years filed for divorce. The wife is also 20 years younger. So you're 70, now she's 50. And you're crabby. And maybe she thinks, yeah.
Bye-bye.
I'll tell you what, Fleetwood Mac, this is what Buckingham says. I'll tell you what, it's all been humbling. I've never suffered from a lack of confidence. Oh, we know. And sometimes I could get carried away with that in the process of leading the band. But everything has pulled me a little bit. I'm not as aggressive as a person as I was before, which is probably not a bad thing. Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
It made me look around more and become less self-involved. Hopefully. He's hoping.
Hopefully.
Just stop. Stop being a jerk.
It's going to magically happen.
Despite his assertion, he's quick to make incendiary comments about former bandmates and associates. This is when he unloads. Sitting in the living room of his Brentwood house, he's uninhibited in conversation. His honesty about circumstances at turns refreshing and disconcerting. While he'd like to be asked back at the band, he's well aware that it's probably a pipe dream unless Stevie comes around. I realize I don't have a lot of control over that. Any control over that. And then there's his new music. Okay, I don't need to read that. Okay, we don't need to read it. Skip that. So they're interviewing him at his house. The wife has moved out to a house down the street. She isn't staying here at the moment. She's a mile away in a rented home in Manville, Camden. Their 3 children.
Which I'm playing for.
No shit. Their 3 children are mostly crashing here during the pandemic. His son, we don't care about that. When Nicks gave the band an ultimatum, it's either him or me, is the way Buckingham says it went down. He was disappointed that no one stood up for him. It would be like a scenario where Mick Jagger says, either Keith Richards or I go. No, neither one of you can go. But I guess that the singer has to stay. Yeah. The figurehead has to stay. Right. So Stevie's saying, I'm leaving because he's an asshole, and I've had it. And Nicks is undeniably the star attraction of Fleetwood Mac. Yes. And her draw has only increased in recent years when she cemented herself further into pop culture. Her witchy style has become a fashion reference for free people loving millennials. She occasionally drops in on Harry Styles' tours to duet Landslide. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go to. So Buckingham says when the band and their manager, music mogul Irving Azoff, who never ever comments on anything. He's probably super old now. Let's see how old he is. How old is Irving? He's got to be 80-something. Buckingham says when the band...
73. He's younger than Christine.
Oh, my God, he's 73. Younger than Christine McVie. Christine McVie is probably sitting at home in London in her garden area somewhere going, God damn it. You know, come on, people. Buckingham says when their manager, Irving Azoff, dismissed him, they were less concerned with Fleetwood Mac's legacy or with its fans. That's not true. What does firing you have to do? I don't care. Right. Then they were appeasing Nicks. They were more interested in appeasing Stevie and continuing to cash the $1 million plus paychecks from a single arena or stadium gig. Well, yeah, that's Irving's job. Right. He's an agent. He's supposed to make money. Manager, agent, whatever. You're making money, 10, 15%. Yeah, it's not his. There's nowhere in the world that it says he has to be thinking about Fleetwood Mac's legacy. Right. No, dude, this is about money. Mm-hmm. If it ain't about money, then don't hire him. Mick Fleetwood, this is what he said. He goes, Mick Fleetwood has never gotten to the point where he's financially stable all the time. He's been married and divorced many, many times. He's just not smart with money. So he's saying that's why Mick didn't stand up for him. So you've thrown Mick under the bus and said, you're a moron with money, you're broke, and you need to go. The same theory applies to Christine McVie, Buckingham says.
Oh, my God.
Buckingham says she sent him an email after his firing that read, I'm really sorry I didn't stand up for you, but I just bought a house. Are you on any planet I know going to tell me Christine McVie can't afford a house? Right. Come on. She probably has 100 houses. So he's saying in negotiations with the group, Buckingham says, Azoff threw me under the bus. Irving doesn't need the money, but he's still driven by the money, says the guitarist, who also used to be managed by Azoff as a solo act. Yes, I want my agent to be driven by money.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all doing it.
Right. I don't want you to be artsy-fartsy. I want you to get out there with a calculator, start counting some seats, put a price number on, and then you tell me how much I'll make. Right. And then I'll tell you if it's enough. Yeah, what? So Lindsey's saying, if Mick Fleetwood wasn't a moron and Christine McVie wasn't broke, they would have stood up for me. No. Even if it's true, you don't say that about your friends. Right. You know? Wow. And he's basically just saying he's, only driven by money. But quite frankly, that's fine if he is. That's his job. And then they get to Azoff. I have historically declined to comment on artists, but in the case of Lindsey Buckingham, I will make an exception. Here it comes. In speaking with Stevie, her accounts of events are factual and truthful. While I understand it's challenging for Lindsey to accept his own role in these matters, and far easier to blame a manager, the fact remains that his actions alone are responsible for what transpired. Whoa, it keeps going. Frankly, Azoff continues, if I can be accused of anything, it's perhaps holding things together longer than I should have. After 2018, when Fleetwood Mac evolved with their new lineup, my continued work with the band was due entirely to the fact that I've been aligned with Stevie Nicks in thought and purpose from the early days. While financial gain was not a motivator for me, it was a delightful bonus that the band scored their highest grossing tour ever without Lindsey. Managers and agents never talk to the press, ever, ever, ever. For him to say that, he's got to be so mad. Oh, wow. And it keeps going.
Of course it does.
And then I'll shut up. I know some people don't even care about this, but I've been waiting forever. Let's get to the managers and agents. They'll tell you what's really going on.
Yep. They're over it.
And then oh my God, he's so mad. Every single boom, boom. So when his mind returns from his exit to the band, he comes to the same conclusion. Nicks wanted to, quote, cut herself loose from having to compete with him on stage. Nope. She's not competing with you. I think she saw the possibility of remaking the band in the more Stevie Nicks vein, more mellow and kind of down, giving her chances to do the kind of talking she does on stage.
Wow.
So he doesn't like the talk. That's fine. Who cares if she talks?
We do.
As long as you get the show.
Yeah.
I'd rather people talk than not talk.
Yeah,
Now, if you talk too much, careful what I wish for. I wish for you to talk, and now you won't shut up. Stevie's stuff sometimes just doesn't connect. I don't understand what she's very out there. You know, I'm very linear and on the same road. She just she'll go wandering, and then I remember back in 1977. I went to the post office and I received a letter. And then you're like, do what? What? I'm just sitting there, what? I got to get another beer. So, Stevie Nicks tells a different story, though. His version, listen to this shit. His version of events is factually inaccurate. Because he's saying, I wanted to go on my own tour and they wouldn't let me go on my own tour. And I don't even know if that's true or not. But the making fun of her at the Music Cares behind her back on stage in front of everybody. Yeah.
You're an asshole.
He's just a narcissist. It's never him. He's everybody else. Well, his version of events is factually inaccurate. All right, I'm going to read it like Stevie. I'm going to do my Stevie voice. Okay. And while I've never spoken publicly on the matter, certainly it feels the time. I can't keep doing this. I'm going to go into that alien voice. I know. My voice is deep enough. Certainly it feels the time has come to shine light on the truth. To be exceedingly clear, I did not have him fired. I did not ask for him to be fired. I did not demand he be fired. Frankly, I fired myself. I proactively removed myself from the band in a situation I considered to be toxic to my well-being. I was done. If the band went on without me, so be it. After many lengthy group discussions, Fleetwood Mac, a band whose legacy is rooted in evolution and change, found a new path forward with two hugely talented members. So he did get fired because she said, I'm walking if he's there. Right. But that's also not firing. It's not necessarily firing him. The Fleetwood Mac could have said, fine, we'll go on with Lindsey and find another Stevie. Good luck. I ain't going to find another Stevie. That's what everybody knows. It's obvious. Nicks had been reluctant to speak about the 2018 split. In an interview with the LA Times last year, she would only say it was a long time coming and that being around Buckingham made her feel sad, like a dying flower all of the time. Oh
that's
God.
awful.
Then he said, oh, he's so mad. This wasn't caused by me, he said, defending himself.
Of course not.
So this reporter lady had to call Stevie and then first called Lindsey, then called Stevie. Here's all the shit he just said about you. Then you got to call Lindsey back. Hope he'll take your call again. Hey, man. He said, you could do a whole lot of analysis on Stevie at this point in her life and what she's allowed to happen and what she's allowed to slip away.
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh. Her creativity, for at least a while it seemed, like she wasn't in touch with that. Same with her level of energy she once had on stage. And I think that was hard for her, seeing me jump around in an age-inappropriate way. Also, she's lonely. She's alone.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Oh, my God.
She has the people that work for her, and I'm sure she has some friends, but you know. So you called her old? Alone?
Friendless.
She can't keep up? Friendless, except hired hands?
Who are his friends? Everybody hates him. Everybody hates him.
Pure guitarist fans love Lindsey. And I get it. They appreciate him.
Like him. There's a difference.
Well, we don't know if we like any of these people or not. I've never met any of these
I don't
people.
like him. I know I don't like him. Don't like him.
But Buckingham is when Buckingham is reminded that Nicks is repeatedly assert she chose to focus on her career over marriage and children, he does not back down. Well, maybe she never did want that, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't make her feel alone as a result. Told of Buckingham's comments. Now she's got to call Stevie back. Yes. Holy shit. She reiterates that she was thrilled for Lindsey when he had children. She just wasn't interested in making those same choices. Those are my decisions that I get to make myself. I'm proud of my life choices, and it seems a shame for him to pass judgment on anyone who makes a choice to live their life on their own terms. But, okay, so he's called her old, lonely, friendless. Yeah, but wait, there's more. He said he hasn't seen any of the new group shows, but he hears they're on the, quote, edge of being a cover band. You can't be a cover band when you're playing your own songs.
Your own songs. No.
That's the definition of a cover band, right, is playing other people's songs. So, but he's slamming them, saying they're a bunch of hacks now because they're playing a range of music lacking a center. None of us sitting there know what a goddamn center is. What? Just go your own way. Come on, we're secondhand news.
And then do it.
And I don't care what order it's in.
Your own way.
Because they're playing that guy from Crowded House. Hey now, don't say it's over. And then they play a Tom Petty song.
Right.
It was great.
Awesome. And they laugh. They're happy. He's an asshole.
There was something else. Oh, he did hear from Nicks after his bypass. He emailed and texted her a few times since, though she doesn't usually respond.
New phone, who dis?
New phone, who dis? The joke of Kelly MacFarland's. That's right. She's very guarded and protective of her own world. I think she sees me as a potential upsetter of that.
What? No, she thinks you're a dick.
So, there's a little bit more of Stevie's response. If this is how you want to get, because he wants back in the band, this probably ain't the way to do it. To go to the LA Times, which is going to be reprint, tweeted, and passed around a million times. This is what she said. I could publicly reflect on the many reasons why, and perhaps I will do that someday in a memoir. But suffice to say, we could start in 1968 and work up to 2018 with a litany of very precise reasons why I will not work with him. To be exceedingly clear, I did not have him fired. I did not, and then we know that from. I proactively removed myself from the band, and yeah. There's one last thing. This came out right after I had already seen these two articles. He's so arrogant. Lindsey Buckingham says his ex-girlfriend may still harbor romantic feelings for him. He's saying he's saying Stevie's still in love with him. In love with you? She won't even go on the road as a coworker with you, sir. That's I don't think she's sitting at home pining away. She's out on the road having fun. It's possible that she's never been completely over me. Oh my God, who says that? Even if you thought it. Oh my God. A complete narcissist. Yeah. And meanwhile, his wife is leaving. The other band members didn't stand up for you. Then you call them all a bunch of hacks out on the road being a cover band. I mean, this is not a way to ingratiate yourself. And, I'm on Team Stevie all the time, but he's not coming back with any sort of mea culpas here. No. And when the manager, who never ever speaks to the press, can't wait to speak to the press and go, he knows what he did. Wow. This counts as an update, I guess. Everybody's been sending it to me, so thank you, Termites. A lot of your Twitter research, because Lewis has been failing as a research assistant. He hasn't sent me anything in a long time, because now Lewis is on the road. He was in Cleveland, and he had a nice time, and I think he's not as freaked out about going, so that's good. Let's get this party started, Lewis.
Welcome to the show.
How long are you going to stay in that apartment in New York? Let's get back out there. Get that bus rolling. This is so great. I told my sister she should do it. First of all, they have mini packs of ranch, Hidden Valley, that you can give out on Halloween. Oh, cool. And how much will the children love it? So little kids won't, but like 10 and up. Except I think they'll also think, my mom gets this for free for me. Yeah. Right?
I have a big bottle at
Yeah, I already have my own bottle with my name on it. And it says, congratulations, Cindy, for graduating. Graduating. For just being you. Just being you. Wow. Hidden Valley Ranch is celebrating Halloween this year with the debut of the official Hidden Valley Ranch costume in the Hidden Valley Ranch Halloween treat-size packets. So you can go as a ranch bottle, and then whoever you go with goes as a piece of pizza.
Awesome.
Yep, you can buy them on starting Monday, September 13th. It's there's an add-on pizza costume, and the other one's just a ranch bottle for $40 and $35. That's totally cheap.
Great.
I would think they'd charge more. And the treat-size packets, the Halloween treat-size packets for $20, not each, I don't think. But you can go online. So there's your little. That's an early Halloween, and I'd go heads up early because I'll bet they'll sell out of those.
Are you gonna do it?
No, I think I'm working. I don't know when Halloween became an adult thing. Like
A while ago.
like 10 years ago. I know because.
You missed it.
Well, it's because even when I was working in the clubs, you never wanted to take that weekend because people are at Halloween parties. Adults.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I quit doing that when I was like 10, maybe 12. You know, I'm not a visual person either. I can't ever think of anything. I'm word based. I mean, this I'd do. If I was going to a party, I would do this.
Okay.
Or be the pizza. I don't care.
Why don't you have a party?
I'm working.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to work until I'm 94 because of COVID. And then I'm going to be super old and people are like, why are you still doing this? Well, because I had a year and a half off and I laid on the couch and drank. Did you learn Spanish? No. I think they're doing really good at English. I don't think I can beat them. They speak Spanish and English.
How much money do you
I learned how to gamble on my phone, and I made up a pubcast so I could talk to people so I wouldn't, because Lewis won't listen to my bullshit anymore. Okay, update! Oh my God, we're in the update categories. This is crazy. You know how I'm kind of minorly obsessed with Banksy, the artist from
He's cool.
England. So there was the shredded painting that Sotheby's let happen, where it went. The shredded painting is on sale again. It's the girl with the balloon. And it might be. Well, no, it didn't. Only half of it got shredded, and then it stopped. But I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay.
It's been almost 3 years since a Banksy painting partially shredded itself in front of shocked onlookers, moments after selling for over $1.4 million at a London auction. Now, I'm going to say, I'm slow to catch on in murder mysteries and stuff like that. I'm the last one to understand what's really happening. I don't ever get it. I really don't get, like, Star Trek and stuff like that. I never understand what's happening. But when this happened, I thought, I think that the museum knew that was going to happen. Because there had to be
Yeah, oh my God.
it wasn't, the onlookers were shocked, but I don't think Sotheby's was shocked. Because when you hung the painting, it had to be super duper heavy because you have a paper shredder back there, and it had to be thick, I would think, kind of thick. I don't know, but this thing addresses that. Now Love is in the Bin, that's the name of the painting, renamed Girl with the Balloon, is up for sale again. And Sotheby's auction houses estimated could fetch up to $8.3 million this time when it goes under the hammer next month, 6 times its previous value. The artwork remains half shredded in its frame, which once concealed a mechanism that Banksy later implied had malfunctioned, prohibiting the work from falling like scraps to the floor. I believe that. I think he was intending on shredding the whole thing. Yes. And it broke. It was a big moment because nothing like that had ever been done, said art historian, author, and co-founder Artful Matthew Israel in an email interview. The idea of self-destructing artwork was, he added, entirely at odds with the aims of the auction house, where the condition of an artwork is paramount and the knowledge and expertise about its core to its authority and value. Whatever, I think you knew. I do. Right. 'Cause 2 people had to pick it up and hang it.
Totally.
So was the self-shredding artwork a penetrative critique of eye-popping prices in an art market that values institutions over artists, or just an orchestrated PR stunt?
Yeah, PR.
B, orchestrated PR stunt. Doesn't mean the painting wasn't great. I wish you wouldn't have shredded it. I like the painting the way it was. This debate surfaced immediately after the auction, was fueled by events that kept the painting in the news months later, including videos that Banksy released on social media like breadcrumbs that invited more speculations about his intentions. Good for him. He's his own PR guy. Good for him. This Sotheby's press statement says the artwork has thus far been the subject of three 30,000 news stories. Yeah, it worked. According to Israel, the answer is a bit of both. It's an ingenious PR stunt that allowed Banksy to continue to be part of the conversation. It also provoked important questions about the artist and the art market, as he's done for many years. We had no prior knowledge of the event and were not involved in any way. But Israel, like many others, has its suspicions. I still think there's more to this story. It's unclear how Sotheby's would possibly not have noticed that the shredder was embedded in the frame. Right. Some have commented that the unusual weight of the frame would have undeniably raised concern. So what does Sotheby's professed ignorance say how they inspect the condition of the artworks that other people bid on and purchase? Right? If you didn't notice that, what if I buy one I really want and that shreds too? The identity of the winner bidder remains a mystery, though Sotheby's has described the buyer as a female collector from Europe and a long-standing client of the auction house. A few months into the... It don't matter. All that don't matter. So anyway, we'll follow that, and I'll tell you how much it sold for. Somebody's going to buy a half-shredded painting. How about that? For $8 million, most likely. Yes. Update! Britney Spears has deactivated her Instagram account. No, it has to be done. I've been saying it now for weeks. Stop. Yeah. It's my dad's lawyer thing. You're snitching on yourself. I know you're young and you want to play on Instagram. Just wait till this is over. I'm not saying forever. Act like an adult here. A little discipline. Not my thing either. I'm not into self-discipline, but Britney Spears has deactivated her Instagram, the platform the singer is used to keep fans entertained and updated. The 39-year-old used another social media platform to let them know about her decision. Don't worry, folks. Just taking a little break from social media to celebrate my engagement. Boom! I'll be back soon. In recent years, she's been known for her dancing videos on Instagram. Well, quite a few other things on Instagram. Some fans believe the star was using her Instagram to send hidden messages for help during her conservatorship. This led to the Free Britney movement. Yep, and then to the movie that I saw, and then I'm like, we got to get this lady out of here. Okay. Last week, her dad made a surprising move, filing to end the 13-year conservatorship that controls her finances and personal decisions. Spears had claimed to a judge that the arrangement was abusive, and her conservators would force her to work, did not let her spend her own money, and also controlled her birth control. That's really crazy. She pleaded with the judge, saying she wanted to get married and start a family. More family. She already has kids. More family. It's kind of insulting when those two are sitting right back here. I got to start a family. I mean, I don't know who these guys are, but they're cute. She probably didn't say it like that. Days after it was announced that Spears may soon be free from her conservatorship, she announced on Instagram that she and her boyfriend, Sam, I can't say it, Asghari, were engaged. She'd been using Instagram to make statements and the steady progress she was making in ending the conservatorship. But in her last post, this is what she said. She shared an excerpt from an article that read, "We need children growing up to trust their inner authority rather than blindly granting power to external authorities of information. Growing up in a world where basically everything I did was controlled by someone else. I hope this message gets to people who've been confused or manipulated by a system. I've waited 13 years and counting for my freedom." Again, thanks to Team Free Britney, you guys, quote, fucking kick ass. Love you so much.
Britney's a cougar.
There you go.
Sam is 27.
Oh, the boyfriend's 27?
Britney's 39.
She's 39. Wow. Good job. Good for you.
He's a personal trainer.
He's a personal trainer. I mean, that's a fine job, but it'd be better if I think she could find somebody that. Well, if he was a therapist, yeah. Or I don't know. I think it's lopsided when one person makes that much money and then the other one doesn't. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's a really good personal trainer.
I mean, maybe he's a very nice person, but then you're back to, are you marrying me for my money?
Right.
That's what I don't really care about. I mean, I just got into the story and now I can't get out.
Right.
And maybe there's some termites that care.
It's quicksand.
Huh? It is quicksand. And I want to see what happens. And then I want to see if she gets her gig back in Vegas. And then, you know what? Then I'm going. Yeah! Even though I don't. I'd much rather go to Barry Manilow again. I'm Fanilow all in. My friend, a different Ron, was out there and sent me a TikTok. Barry's back out in Vegas. Update! You're not gonna like this, Battles.
No, don't do it.
Simmer. Behave. Update. These are so bizarre. So the Elizabeth Holmes thing, the podcast, what's it called? The Dropout.
Which is great.
It's so great. And if you're into this, and they're like newswomen that do it, it's not like something hokey. I have some Elizabeth updates. First of all, how crazy is this? She adopted a 9-week-old Siberian Husky, and then proceeded to tell everyone it was a wolf. What? Yeah, like because with the sociopathic narcissist people, everything has to be grandiose. Everything has to be better and exclusive, and you can't just have a dog. And the only person that would have believed her 100% is my mom. My mom thinks any dog larger than a beagle is a wolf. Right. Scared shitless of it. That's a wolf. It's a chocolate lab, Mom. It's not a wolf. Stop it.
Cute as a button.
Are you letting that dog in here? It's a wolf. No, Mom, it's a dachshund. In the fall of 2017, while Theranos was under investigation, Holmes flew first class across the U.S. to adopt a 9-week-old Siberian Husky. Before she even officially adopted him, she named him Balto after the world-famous sled dog, and made a 600-mile journey in 1925 bearing medicine to save an entire village from I don't know. It got cut off, but
naming a dog Balto makes you a hack.
Balto, are you a hack if you do that? I never heard of Balto. She discovered that a small part of Siberian Huskies' genomes traced back to an ancient wolf, and her puppy was actually to a wolf. Well, every dog's. Stop. Mm-hmm. She reportedly repeated this thoroughly unsubstantiated claim to anyone who would ask her about Balto. She apparently does the same thing too. So that's just stupid. But it's those kind of things where you go, there's something off. Right. This one, though, and then the trial was delayed a little bit because a juror had COVID. We don't need to go. The jury they've selected, I don't even know. I have to listen to the podcast, but one of the girls is 19. Yeah, I can't do it.
You don't know anything when
you're too young. Yeah, 19. And then she said she didn't realize her employer wouldn't pay her when she was off, which they won't. And now she didn't want to be on the jury because she needs to support her mom. The whole thing sounds very desperate and sad. Like, let the lady go.
Right.
This is I think juries should be retired lawyers and judges. Yeah. Because
that's a great idea.
When you say, my dad would go do it every week. He would love it. Yep. And he knows the law, and he would do it without emotion. Mm-hmm. And, you're going to get a 19-year-old who works in customer service somewhere and is now upset because now her mom's not going to have food. Like, you get jury pay. I don't know what it is in California, but it's like $12 or some shit. This is weird. Very strange. Yeah. During the first day of jury selection at the federal fraud trial of Elizabeth Holmes, an incognito San Diego hotel magnate pulled a large Rice Krispie treat from his pocket, loudly. So loudly, in fact, the judge's voice was barely audible in the back of the courtroom over the sound of his wiggling the brick-shaped snack out of tightly wrapped plastic. Okay, what kind of adult? We all know how loud Rice Krispie treat, the papering. It's worse than this because it's more like wrapping paper, like that silver wrapping paper. My name's Hanson, the man said, wearing a baseball cap and a Patagonia puffer jacket. He was sociable and chatty, adjectives that rarely describe people attending one of the most high-profile trials in Silicon Valley history. Holmes, the former head of the blood testing company Theranos, faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted of defrauding investors and patients about the company's technology. As the trial proceedings started, the man presented himself to reporters as something of an everyman who came out of curiosity and nothing more. I fix up old cars for a living, he said. Elizabeth and I are the only two people not being paid to be here, he added. I don't believe that. I'm sure there's some looky-loos. While the courtroom drama then centered on which 12 Californians would form the jury that decides Holmes' fates, journalists in the courtroom had other burning questions. Who was this man? Why was he talking so much to all the reporters? And did he have a connection to Holmes he wasn't disclosing? When asked, he was cryptic. Do I know her? Does anyone know her? What does it even mean to know somebody these days?
That's ridiculous.
That's what he told an NPR reporter. A short while later, he called himself a concerned citizen interested in the trial. Mm-hmm.
Who isn't?
He said it's always been on his bucket list to attend a trial. His story, however, would soon unravel. This is a good reporter, this person. Over the course of 2 days of jury selection, he gabbed with reporters standing in line to get in the courthouse while on breaks and even during the trial. He maintained more or less the same story. He was a car enthusiast who was acting as a media watchdog to make sure the news coverage matched what he observed in court. Okay, well, now I just think you're a crazy person. Like, oh, really, you're going to go down there and set the New York Times straight, and you're going to set NPR straight? Like, you're so important that you're going to be that guy. He distrusted how the press has treated Elizabeth Holmes. Okay, well, now I know what team you're on. No journalist has ever told the real story about her, he said. Everyone is just is copying and pasting others' stories without thinking. Opening arguments in the trial begin 1 week later. Holmes walked into the courthouse surrounded by her family members, and among the entourage was Hanson. Oh, so he's with her. Gone was the puffer jacket and the baseball cap. I'm gonna read this like Martin Sapp. Read it like one of the shows that Kelly likes. Keith Datelines, Keith Morton. Gone with a puffy jacket and baseball cap. This day, he wore a gray suit and a somber black tie. I couldn't believe my eyes, a New York Times reporter, Eddie Griffith. I immediately started asking other reporters, and they were like, I think it was him. And when we got outside and saw him even closer, we're like, yep, it was him. The revelation spread past him amongst reporters. Indeed, Hanson, it turned out, is William, quote, Bill L. Evans, the 61-year-old father of Holmes's partner, also father of her baby, Billy Evans, with whom she just had a baby boy. It took a second to be like, wait, Hanson is Billy's dad? This is insane, CNBC producer so-and-so said. The Evanses are among the most prominent families in the hospitality business in San Diego. Their story traces back to 1953 when Bill Evans' parents, William and Ann, founded Evans Hotels. Bill now operates a company which includes 3 of the toniest? Swanky? Bougie hotels in the city. He inherited another San Diego institution from his father, Evans Garage, a private museum and event space that houses vintage cars dating back as far as the 1880s. The closed to the public collection includes vehicles that make car aficionados swoon, like a replica of a 1909 Blitzen Benz, which seems to be the inspiration for his Instagram name, Blitzen Bill.
Oh, wow.
So this is, I don't know if she married this guy. It's her father-in-law. I don't know if they're married, though, or if they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Mm-hmm. On its face, the biography did not sit exactly right with reporters.
Yeah, they got it. 2019, they got married.
Oh, they did? They spotted other clues that gave them pause. This is how one of the reporters figured out this guy was full of shit. He said, I didn't buy that he didn't know more about Theranos or Elizabeth Holmes in some capacity because he wasn't elaborating on those questions. Sarah Ashley O'Brien, a reporter with CNN. He claimed to be Hanson, but he had a different name on his Starbucks cup. Oh, that's a smart youngster. The cup he was holding said Bill or Billy, not Hanson. She also remembered noticing his shoes, pricey Salvatore Ferragamo loafers. Quite fancy shoes for such a random man attending a trial. Good job, youngster. Before his true identity was revealed, Evans shared an elevator ride with reporters covering the trial. Are you a mole? I asked him point blank. He joked about having a mole on his bald head. Oh. The conversation then veered off course. Before this, CNBC's Coram, somebody named Coram, had followed him out of the courtroom to ask whether he was paying for the lush Silicon Valley estate where his son and Holmes are staying. They're staying on a $135 million property right now.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Wow. He ignored her. And then I said, why did you tell us your name was Hanson? And then he booked it for the men's restroom. Over the course of his interactions, his mixed truths was untruths. For instance, He talked about having recently spent time in Tanzania with his family, a trip confirmed through social media posts documenting that Evans' clan soaking up what appears to be a safari-esque resort in the East African country. It's too ironic, Griffith said at the Times. The Elizabeth Holmes is on trial for fraud, and the media has this whole 2 days of interaction with someone who is misrepresenting themselves for her extended family. When reached by phone and about why he offered a fake name and hid his connection to Holmes, he said he has no memory of sitting next to me for 7 hours during the first day of jury selection. He did not deny telling reporters his name was Hanson. Instead, he defended it. People have nicknames. They'd be free to use them. On that note, I'll say goodbye.
Oh my
I
God.
mean, he's a psycho too.
Yeah, they're all psycho.
What is the matter with people? Do you think this is a joke? I mean, 20 years is a long goddamn time. Yeah. She won't get it, but...
He doesn't know Hanson's a fake.
Update! Update. Okay, none of this is particular.
That was a lame update, by the way.
What do you mean?
Let's say it better.
Oh, I thought you meant what I read.
No.
That's a good one.
Great update.
Yeah. Update!
Better.
Alleged cult mom Lori Vallow, still mentally unfit for trial, will be held for at least 6 more months.
Oh my God.
That's the lady in Idaho with the guy, and they're being charged with murdering, well, his ex-wife, her ex-husband, and the 2 children. Mm-hmm. Now, here's where I'm kind of in the same frame of mind as Lori. I mean, not that I would kill anybody, but the judge, you know what? She's mentally unfit for trial. She'll be held for 6 more months. I would be, quote, mentally unfit forever.
Right.
I'm just going to live in the nut house. Mm-hmm. You find me, address a package, Kathleen Madigan, loony bin. Boom. Because I would much rather stay there than go to prison. So if you can act good enough, maybe she is crazy. I don't know, though. I think this is bullshit. I think she's just trying to avoid reality. Yes. But however, if she's not actually mentally unfit, she's doing a very good job acting, which is what I would aim for. I just don't know how you do it. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know the rules. What are the rules? She was committed in June to an Idaho Department of Health facility, bringing a temporary halt to the proceedings. Yeah, for murder conspiracy. At what point are we going to say just yes or no then? How long does this go on? Right. Another 6 months? Another 6 months? Daybell and her new husband, Chad Daybell, were indicted late May on murder and conspiracy charges and other connection. They're, the children were missing for several months. Blah, blah, blah. His trial is going on. He wanted his to be separate from Lori's and to have the trial date pushed back. The question of possible change of venue has also been introduced. Daybell and his attorney to have another hearing on October 5th or 6th. So that's the latest of what's going on out there. In case anybody was wondering, hey, what happened to that lady in Idaho? Wow, I just choked on my own spit. No, I don't have COVID. They have self-tests now. You can get them from Walmart online. They're great. Every time I go out on the road and then I come home, if I'm tired at all, I'm like, shit, I have COVID. I just forgot the road is hard. It's tiring. Yeah, sometimes it tucker you out, but it's so easy. And I sent a bunch of to Lewis because I'd say every other 4 hours Lewis thinks he has COVID. I've been sneezing a lot. Well, take a Claritin. You don't have COVID. Okay, this is freaky. Moving on to news. I had a lot of updates. Moving on to news. You're going to have to vote on this, Paddles. Okay. Do you want this to happen or not? All right. Scientists want to resurrect the woolly mammoth.
Yes!
Oh.
Yes!
They just got $15 million to make it happen.
Great!
The picture of this thing, we'll put it in the show notes. I mean, I'd like to see one and see it walk around, but I'd be scared shitless of it.
Yeah. You should.
I don't know.
You should be very scared.
Here's the story. I don't know. And it says it in the first line. It's hack, but you think of Jurassic Park. I don't know if they're already extinct for whatever reasons. Should we start bringing stuff back that hasn't been here in forever?
No, just a woolly mammoth.
Just the woolly mammoth. Bringing extinct creatures back to life is the lifeblood of science fiction. At its most tantalizing, think Jurassic Park and its stable of dinosaurs. There's an old comedian in the South named James Gregory. He can be very funny when he wants to, and he used to have a joke. He goes, if it was up to these environmentalists, we'd have dinosaurs shitting on Madison Avenue. I don't even know if that actually makes coherent sense, but it always made me laugh. I knew when he did it in his act, and I'd make sure I was in the room. Dinosaurs, it's just with the accent, too. Dinosaurs shitting on Madison Avenue. Anyway, advances in genetics, however, make resurrecting lost animals a tangible prospect. Scientists have already cloned endangered animals and can sequence DNA extracted from the bones and carcasses of long-dead extinct animals. Geneticists led by Harvard Medical School's George Church aim to bring back the woolly mammoth. Well, also, where are we going to put it? Like, you can't put it in downtown Nashville. No. Siberia? Yeah. Lots of room. Kentucky. Kansas.
Give it to Kansas.
There's a lot of room in Kansas when you drive through Kansas after you leave Kansas City.
Give it to the
I don't know.
Wyoming has ranchers.
And then does that cause other crazy things? I don't know anything about science, so I can't answer these questions, but Paddles is all in. Bring them back.
Yeah.
The woolly mammoth disappeared 4,000 years ago. Back to life, imagining a future where the tusked Ice Age giant is restored to its natural habitat. The efforts got a major boost Monday. It might be a reality with the announcement of a $15 million investment. However, it's a bold plan fraught with ethical issues. Yeah.
Let's try it.
Let's try it. Just one? You want one?
Oh, with like a mini version.
You want a mini one? Oh, now you want to fuck with that. You
like
can't.
Like a mini pony?
Like a mini pony.
Like a mini mammoth.
Right. Those things are never right.
That would be great.
My friend Andrew has one. It's really aggressive. The mini pony.
Yeah?
It's super aggressive. Yeah.
The mammoth wouldn't be.
The effort. No. The goal isn't to clone a mammoth. The DNA the scientists have managed to extract from the woolly mammoth remains frozen in a permafrost that is too fragmented and degraded. But to create through genetic engineering a living, walking elephant-mammoth hybrid that would be visually indistinguishable from its extinct forerunner. So it's not the same as all ones, but it's going to look just like it.
Okay.
Fine with that.
Yeah.
Our goals is to have our first calves in the next 4 to 6 years.
Oh, great.
Wow. Said tech entrepreneur Ben Lamb, who with George Church has co-founded Colossal, a bioscience and genetics company, to back the project. There's a picture of George Church, too. Shoo, buddy. He looks like a mad scientist. He's got a crazy beard. He looks like Santa. He looks like Santa Claus.
Awesome.
Skinny, though, not a fat Santa Claus. It's a normal one.
Skinny Santa.
Now we can actually do it. The new investment and focus brought by Lamb and his investors make a major step forward, said Church, the Robert Winthrop professor of genetics at Harvard Medical School. Up until 2021, it's kind of been a back burner project, frankly, but now we can actually do it. This is going to change everything. Church has been on the cutting edge of genomics, I don't know if I said that right, including the use of CRISPR, the revolutionary gene editing tool that has been described as rewriting the code of life to alter characteristics of living species. He's working to create pigs whose organs are compatible with the human body, means a kidney for a patient in desperate need of one might come from a pig one day. I don't care.
No.
Mm-mm.
Do it.
Fine. Yeah. We had to make a lot of genetic changes, 42 so far, to make them human compatible. And in that case, we have very healthy pigs that are breeding and donating organs for preclinical trials at Massachusetts General Hospital. So already working on it. With the elephant, it's a different goal, but similar in the number of changes. And that's all boring. It's all boring. They tell you how you do it. That's immediately where I drifted out in science class. Just tell me if we're going to do it or not. And can I get a picture of it? Can I get a selfie with it? Here's the skepticism, though. Love Dallin, a professor of evolutionary genetics at the Centre but you have to say it like bleh, the Centre for Paleogenetics in Stockholm, who works with the mammoth evolution, believes there is scientific value in the work being undertaken by Church and his team, particularly when it comes to the conservation of endangered species that have genetic diseases or lack of genetic variation as a result of inbreeding. If endangered species have lost the genes that are important to them, the ability to put them back in the endangered species might prove really important, says Dallin, who's not involved in the project. I wonder what the bigger point would be. First of all, you're not going to get a mammoth. It's a hairy elephant with some fat deposits. But will it have those tusks? Oh, the picture says it will.
Good, they're cool.
Then they're not like elephants. They're more like, they're curlier.
Yeah, they curl.
Yeah.
Super cool.
We have very little clue about what genes make a mammoth a mammoth. We know a little, but we didn't know anywhere near enough. Others say it's unethical to use living elephants as surrogates to give birth to a genetically engineered animal. Dallin describes mammoths and Asian elephants as being very as different as humans and chimpanzees. Let's say it works and there's no horrible consequence. No surrogate elephant's mom die. The idea that by bringing back mammoths and placing them into the Arctic, you engineer the Arctic to become a better place for carbon storage. That aspect I have issues with. I bet the little animals will be surprised to see that thing.
Super cool.
No, they'll be like, holy shit, we got rid of that a long time. What do you mean it's back?
Unless you make it a mini.
If you made it mini, yeah. Some believe large that before their extinction, grazing animals like mammoths, horses, and bisons maintained the grasslands in our planet's northern reaches and kept the earth frozen by trampling down the grass. I did see a whole special. This Russian guy was saying all that's why it's all melting, because we don't have these guys anymore.
Well, we gotta bring them back.
Yeah. Reintroducing mammoths and other large mammals to these places will help revitalize these environments and slow down the permafrost thaw and the release of carbon. However, Dallin and Harridge, some other dude, lady, whatever, said there was no evidence to back up this hypothesis, and it was hard to imagine a herd of cold-adapted elephants making any impact on the environment that's grappling with wildfires, riddled with mires, and warming faster than anywhere else in the world. There's absolutely nothing that says he's putting these animals out there will have any different effect on climate change. Maybe it's fun to showcase them in a zoo. I don't have a problem with that. But if they want to put them back in a park somewhere, as you know, and, make the kids more interested, if they want to do that, they're fine with that. I don't know. Some poor college kid is going to have to write a thesis on the ethical weight of this, I'm sure. Should we do it? Should we not? Will it help? Will it won't? I don't know. I'd like to see one, though. Selfishly.
Cool. Yeah.
This is sort of a little update. I'm not going to read it because it's hard.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to. And I'm sick and tired of explaining to old drunks at bars what Bitcoin is. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it anymore.
You do it a lot.
I do it a lot. And I'm because they seem like they ask. I'm not pushing it on anybody. I don't even bring it up. And then they'll see on my phone my little Bitcoin thing when we're doing the fantasy football, which, by the way, if the Packers don't get their shit together, my team is going to fail. I had a meeting to see if they were on drugs. I've drug tested them. I've checked their lockers for alcohol. Are you drunk?
Who do you have? All the Packers.
A lot of them. Jones, and here, I'll tell you.
He's good.
Not last week he wasn't. Nobody was. Because I think maybe,
A little bit of distraction in the locker room.
well, maybe what's his face whining all summer and not going to practice didn't help.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. What's his face. I have Jones. I have Devontae Adams.
He's amazing.
I have their kicker, Crosby, and the Packers defense.
All right.
Yep. Anyway,
Stay tuned.
I'm no longer going to explain Bitcoin to anybody, drunk or sober, because every time I do it, they just go, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then I'll try one more time and go, okay, well, maybe I didn't say it right.
Where did I lose you?
And then I'm done explaining it, because maybe I don't do it right. Clearly, nobody understands what I'm saying. Or they'll just go, I don't trust that. Okay, well, you don't have to. I don't care.
It's not for you.
After El Salvador, Bitcoin could become legal tender in at least 10 of these countries. El Salvador went ahead and made it a legal tender in their country, and it did have problems day one, but they've been flushed out. Seems to be working fine.
Great.
So there you go. That was sort of an old update that I forgot about. This one is kind of crazy too, as long as we're into weird animals. This is from tapes from a long time ago, but you don't know this yet, Paddles, but you're going to put it in the show notes. And there was a duck that could talk.
No.
Yes.
Bring it back.
He would say, "You bloody fool."
Come on. Was he British?
He's Australian. I can't do that accent. No. As the expression goes, if it looks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. Complicating the old adage, a male musk duck named Ripper could talk like a human, or at least he learned how to mimic a few choice words. The duck, born and raised in captivity at an Australian nature preserve in the late 80s, was recorded using the phrase, "You bloody fool." Wait till you listen to the recording. You hear it. It's like, like a parrot repeats shit. Right. But they didn't think, certainly didn't think either that a duck could.
Wow.
Right. And if it can, let's get them all talking.
Totally.
Let's send them to language school. In 1987, researchers used a Sony Walkman to record Ripper making several peculiar noises, including mimicking the sound of the door to the nature center's aviary, and with uncanny accuracy, he would imitate the door slamming. Where do you hear that part? Oh, and making mumbling noises that resembled indistinct human speech. However, the most captivating sounds on the tapes are those of Ripper's appearing to initiate a sentence he may have heard from one of his keepers. "You bloody fool!" Wow. The second set of recordings were taken of another unnamed male musk duck in 2003 and captured the bird making the same door slamming sounds as well as imitating the cries of a Pacific black duck it was raised in captivity with. What? Yeah. So it's, yeah. It's a freak. Maybe they're all capable. We're not doing something right. The researchers behind the study also reported 2 other examples of musk duck. That's hard to say. Mimicry, though the recordings of these talented quackers don't exist. One duck at a United Kingdom nature park seemed to initiate the snorts of a pony, while another bird made the sounds much like the coughing of its keeper and the squeaks of a turnstile. That's weird. Yeah. Musk ducks now join in an exclusive group of non-human animals, including some songbirds, parrots, hummingbirds, whales, seals, dolphins, and bats that can learn to mimic a variety of sounds. Bats, yeah. I have bats all over the yard. That's the last thing I need them talking to me. I'm already afraid of them. Vocal learning is rare and a specific trait, so this makes this duck particularly special. While most animals are born innately knowing to make certain sounds, those with vocal learning trait can acquire the ability to produce new sounds that they're frequently exposed to. This skill could be important to musk ducks because the courtship process among males involves highly specific pitch vocalizations. In the case of Ripper and the other musk ducks covered in this study, the fact that they were hatched and raised by humans as opposed to other musk ducks could have led them to start imitating people and other noises instead of adults within their own species. Yeah. That's weird. They don't say if he's still alive, though. How long does a duck live? Aren't you glad you do this job for free? Aren't you glad? Come on. I could call Lou and ask.
Oh, a mallard? 8 to 12 years.
Oh, he's dead then, because that was in the late 80s. Okay. This is just a little something.
The longest living duck was 20.
Was 20? Well, then he's still dead.
And lived in Maidenhead.
Maidenhead, England?
Yep.
Yes. Maidenhead. We'll be off to Maidenhead. Best place to live in the United States. Best city. As deemed by Money Magazine. You'll never guess. No? Okay. Money Magazine said the best place to live in the United States, from big cities to small towns and everything in between, is Chanhassen, Minnesota. What? Well, here's what I'd like to ask somebody from Money Magazine. Have you been in Minnesota in February? Because, as Louis Anderson said, you better bring your good gloves.
I love Minnesota.
I love Minnesota, but I have Raynaud's syndrome where my digits go numb in cold weather. So I think if you're used to that, cold and the length of how long winter goes, if you're not, no. Bad times. It's extreme. But, the Minnesota people are very nice, and they're smart. A lot of very, very smart people. The magazine revealed its 35th best annual 50 places to live, looking at metrics across 9 different categories to create its definitive ranking for 2021-2022, and the Southwest Twin Cities suburbs came in at number 1. The magazine says the pandemic upended convention notions about working, home, and life and acknowledged the choppy economic recovery and an ongoing national disclosure around race inequality. But we believe Chanhassen, if I'm even saying that right, meets the moment. Yeah. It also graces the cover of the 2021 issue under the banner, The Star of the North.
That's great.
Is it by water? I would be happier if it was by water.
I would be happier.
And then they have 50 other cities, and some other ones in Minnesota made it, Woodbury and Rosemount. Apologies to Wisconsin, as well as both of the Dakotas, none of which had a city make the top 50.
Come on. What about Milwaukee?
I love Wisconsin. I don't know.
Wonderful.
That's awfully cold, too, though. And, in those dark, the deep, dark months, January, February.
Chanhassen is right by Paisley Park.
It's right by Paisley Park?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a suburb of Minneapolis.
All right.
And it is landlocked.
Landlocked? But there's 10,000 lakes in Minnesota. You can have a lake cabin.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Sure.
Street.
Okay. Here's another futuristic idea. That's just in case you want to live in the best place in the world, according to Money Magazine. Get your ass to Chanhassen, Minnesota, pronto.
Yep, go Vikings.
I don't really like anything about this idea, but I think it's going down. I think this is going to happen. Billionaire and former Walmart president Mark Luer. I already don't like that you're the president of Walmart.
No.
You got to start treating those people better. He helped outline a plan for a $400 billion metropolis tabbed the new city in America to be built in the desert if properly funded.
Oh, boy.
Start with desert. Can't do it.
No.
Too white. I'd pass out from the heat.
Right.
I know. I have fun in Vegas, and I always have fun out there, but I couldn't live there. No.
3 days.
Isn't the desert beautiful? Maybe when they finish it. Although one time I did get to see the desert in bloom, and it actually does do that. Because they would always go, well, it's like 2 weeks around March or April. And I'd go, well, when? I want to come here. Well, it depends on the rain.
Right.
Well, so 1 year I lucked out, though, and it was actually happening, and it was actually beautiful. But that's 2 weeks out of the year. I can't do it. I'm too short. I'm too white. No protection from the sun. Anyway, Lure's mission statement for the city of Telosa is to create a more equitable and sustainable future that can become a blueprint of future generations. Well, we already have a giant city in the desert. It's called Las Vegas. Right?
It's perfect.
Yeah. The Jewish and Italian mobsters already did this. They already built Vegas. That's backed by a 150,000 acre design proposal with eco-friendly architecture, sustainable energy protection, and a drought-resistant water system. The focal point around the city, set to house around 5 million, that's a lot,
That's a lot of people.
will be its transportation, with the Telosa streets prioritizing bikes and pedestrians, as well as slow-moving autonomous cars. So you're going to be, first of all, I'm not graceful. My nickname was actually Grace as a kid because I fell so much for no reason. Just walk to this day. Walking along, I just fall. I trip. My feet, I don't know. So I'm not into bicycles, and I'm too short for those. But anyway, you're going to get around on a bike. You're going to walk, or you're going to be in an autonomous car, slow-moving autonomous car, over fossil fuel-dependent vehicles elsewhere. The official website for Telosa cities that 1 billion people will be affected by... the official website for Telosa... Sites. That 1 billion people will be affected by climate change by 2050. The figure falls in lines with the United Nations climate report in August, dubbed Code Red for Humanity. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here going, how's my fantasy football team doing?
Fuck the Packers.
Goddamn Aaron Rodgers. Quit being a whiny little bitch and get up there and go to practice. Thank you. It's unclear what American desert is being targeted for the project. Could be Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Arizona, Texas. West Texas is very deserty. Yeah. Are all options, say the city's official website. I gotta go on the website. Oh, I see the photo. Oh, no. Pas pour moi. This is not for me. When I look out 30 years from now, it's like living in fucking Disney World. Yeah, just the picture I'm looking at. Anyway, I don't know. And I don't want to live at Disney World. I don't like things that are this organized. When I look out 30 years from now, I imagine equitism serving as a blueprint for other cities and even the world, and Telosa being a place of pride for all who live here. While the city being built is not funded, Lore handpicked renowned architects Ingalls Group to be behind the city's structural design. In one of the mock images of Telosa, a giant skyscraper known as Equitism Tower is to be set to be the beacon for the city with its Eiffel Tower-like aura. The first phase of construction would include 50,000 residents across 1,500 acres.
Why don't you just fix Detroit?
That's what I agree. Let's just fix Detroit. Let's fix downtown St. Louis. Let's fix, we have the infrastructure.
Right.
There's like a million cool little towns when you drive up through to get to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. There's like all these little towns that could be fixed. The first phase of construction, they would need an estimated $25 billion to build the city. The goal is to welcome residents by 2030.
Wonderful.
9 years from now.
Wow.
He added that it will aim to be diverse as the most open, most fair, and most inclusive city in the world.
Okay.
I'm not on board. I'm not on board. Take your money and let's get all the tiny towns in America and the big cities that need a little help downtown or wherever. Let's do that. All right. This is the mystery I'm going to sign off on. Okay. And CNN, Frederica Whitfield, who I like, and she's only on the weekends, they did a chunk of story, a chunk about this. This shit going down where? South Carolina.
Oh, boy.
One of my favorite states. I love Charleston. I love Kiowa. This lawyer guy. Everybody, I think, has heard about this story. But it keeps getting weirder. So his son, I'm just going to sum it up quickly.
Yep.
His son was driving a boat, which shockingly to me, they got in those inlets like in South Carolina and were driving a boat full speed. No, if you hit something and fall out, there's alligators in there. Like, that's not like saying the Lake of the Ozarks where nothing's going to eat me. No. Well, he was driving way too fast, hit a bridge, a girl flew out, dead. Right. Boom. That's the lawyer's son. The lawyer's like 55. He's got the kid. Now the kid's going to face potential life imprisonment because he was drunk. Right. So drunk and, killing someone, whether you did it on purpose or not a good situation.
Bad times.
Then somebody, we don't know who, comes by and murders the lawyer's wife and the boy in the backyard. Right. Probably two shooters. Yep. Somebody hired somebody. Yeah, this wasn't just a neighborly, wasn't the Rand Paul thing where your neighbor just looked at you one day and go, "Ah, damn, I hate this. I'm doing it. I'm going for it." Full on tackle. Boom. I mean, but I was thinking about that with Rand Paul. Like, how much of a jerk do you have to be that somebody's sitting out on their porch going, "I don't give a shit. I'm doing it. I'm going to tackle that jackass."
I hate you.
Well, and he tackled him hard. Broke a couple ribs. Yeah, I'm not advocating violence. I'm just trying to understand what did you do or not do to create that shit show. So anyway, the wife and the son are murdered. There's then one son left. They all look alike too. Then fast forward, the dad, the lawyer, claims that he was changing a tire on his car somewhere driving around South Carolina, and some random man went past him in a truck and then turned around and shot him in the head.
Right.
Okay. Now, I used to do the joke. My dad used to tell us, I think it's on Bothering Jesus, instead of bedtime stories, my dad would tell me laws. Like, if you're ever going to commit suicide, don't leave a note because you can't collect the insurance money. Wow. I'm like 9. I'm like, copy that, jackalope. I got it. If I'm going to kill myself, I will not leave a note. Let's talk about some other laws that might affect someone you know or yourself. But anyway, that's the first thing I thought of when this guy did this. I thought he either shot himself or hired someone to shoot him because then there will be I didn't know how much. It turns out to be a $10 million life insurance policy on him, and his living son could collect it. Turns out he did hire that guy. Turns out he didn't think about there were cameras, video surveillance cameras on churches nearby. So they picked up the whole event. He didn't die, though. The guy, nicked his head. Nothing went right, okay? So then he checked himself into rehab because he says he's been an opioid addict now for a very long time. And lately, the circumstances have really raised the bar on that, exacerbated all situations. So he's super duper addicted. He's also, turns out, the father, it's a family law firm that's been in business since the 1850s. He's stolen shitloads of money from there. He's admitting that. Also, though, now there's another thing that their housekeeper, this is a while back, before the boat incident, or maybe it might not have been before the boat. I'm not clear on that. She, quote, tripped and fell in their house and was dead, and they didn't even do an autopsy, and they said, natural causes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know. So unless he plans on fessing up, first his lawyer said he didn't have anything to do with that shooting. And then they were like, okay, maybe he did. Okay, maybe he did.
Jokes.
Maybe he did. So there's going to be a lot of updates on this story because I want to know who murdered the wife and the son.
JR.
Maybe another relative found out that Peepaw here stole all the money.
Maybe the law firm found out.
That's what I'm saying. Someone in the law firm. But does another relative go and kill the wife and son? That's not very fair. No. Or is it somebody from the boating incident, the girl that died?
Or opioid stuff.
It could be drug things. Many, many possibilities. Dateline will be all over it. Yeah. They actually started this story on CNN and it was Martin Savage. Yeah, and he goes, this story has more turns than a back road South Carolina road. I'm like, oh my God. It took somebody all day to write that. All right, Termites. Where am I going on the road? Let me think.
Everywhere. All your dates went up.
Oh, yeah, all the spring dates are for sale. You can go.
Friday.
Oh, they'll be up for sale Friday. Now, this will be launched. Yeah, Friday. Yeah, whatever. You know how to find them.
No idea.
No, I'm going to tell you where I'm going.
What day is
in case anybody wants to come out. It's been so fun because there's been a lot of people that listen to this coming to the shows. Because I ask, are there any termites here?
St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis. I have to call my Uncle Jimmy right now. He gets and they're so happy it's not during deer. They'll be so happy it's not during deer season.
Thank God.
I have to hear that every year. Now, Kathleen, if you're going to book a show here at home, could you not do it during deer season? And he means gun and bow.
That's a month.
Coming up, though, Milwaukee, love it. Chicago, love. Green Bay, yes, I know I'll be there having fun. Minneapolis, the Villages, Florida. I can't wait. Orlando, Stewart, Clearwater, Scottsdale, Fort Myers, Sarasota, Ponte Verde Beach, Charlestown, West Virginia, Turlock, California. Not really sure where that's at, but I'm going to find it. Monterey, Napa.
I'll find you.
There's a million more. The last one of the year so far will be Aspen in December 18th. Yeah, if I can get up there. Mm-hmm.
If you can make it up the mountain.
I'm always afraid to book these because I've been snowed in there. And sometimes it's for days, which I don't mind because whatever, but getting up there sometimes can be problematic. And then people go, well, you just fly in. Well, I've gotten stuck there too. So hopefully I'll get up there. But anyway, all the spring ones, they're not on They'll be up there soon. So come find me on the road, Termites. And I guess that's it for this week.
You got a new share candle.
I got a new share candle from who? Kelly MacFarland's husband, Eric. Wasn't that thoughtful?
Adorable.
Yeah. He went to Texra and got one, texra.com. And it was perfect timing because the one of me burnt out. And I do not need another one, Termites. I do not need another one of myself. No. We could get one of Lindsey and Stevie. Oh, also I've pushed Redbird out because the Cardinals have won like 100 games in a row now. I'm exaggerating, but going for the wild card. So I'll let him peek out a little bit, and then eventually, if they do better, Ron will be removed and put temporarily. It's a temporary thing, and that's all I got, Termites. All right, behave yourselves. Be considerate. Be good termites, and we will see you next week.